3rd of March, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay. We're ready to go. Okay, so we were in the middle of this Gemora wanted to know, do we say that we do an evaluation, we do a shuma for cases of nizikin, damage cases? We do a shuma for capital cases to investigate the weapon, but we want to know, what about the damage cases? So the Gemara brought a proof from this Bryce over here. So let's go over the Bryce again. The Bryce starts. Where's the Bryce begin over here? Toshma. Toshma is it's on 91a.
Tashma Mabor?
Yeah. Toshma Mabor.
9182, top of the page, top of the left-hand column.
Yeah, so let's read this one again.
No,
Phil today.
Phil didn't come today?
No, I don't see Phil today.
Okay.
Does he not come on Thursday, or he does come on Thursday? I don't remember.
I thought he was coming every day now. He used to not come because of his wife, but she passed away.
Oh, right.
So I'm not aware of his schedule.
Okay.
So should I read?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, come and learn. Mabor she'ein bo kidei le hamis Sarah Fachim, just as a bore, a pit, that it is, excuse me, that it is capable of killing, because it is 10 tfachim deep. Af kol sheyesh bo kidei lechamis asarat tefachim. So too is anything that is 10 tefachim deep is capable of killing. So the English uses the word excavation, and pit seems to be saying that just as a pit, which is some kind of a standard construction, like I'm assuming it's like a manhole where it's within certain specifications of how wide it is, and it is this deep, 10 tefachim deep. Just as that is considered to be deadly, so too any other excavation, any other thing that was dug in the ground that may not have this that shape of a standard pit. If it's 10 tefachim deep, it's considered to be deadly. Hayu pechusim me asara tfachim. If there is something that is less than 10 tfachim, there is an excavation that is less than 10 tfachim. In this case, I think excavation is meant to include anything, either a pit or any other digging.
Right.
V'nafal l'socho shor o chamor umes, and an ox or a donkey were to fall into it and die, patur. The owner or the digger, the one who dug it, is exempt. He's not liable for the death of the ox or the donkey, because this is not considered to be a digging that is capable of causing death. So since the animal died, we're saying he's not liable for that death. Chuzak bo, but if the animal was injured, chayiv, then there is a liability. The one who dug the pit or the excavation that was less than 10 tefachim is going to be liable to pay damages for the injury to the ox or the donkey. My love, mimata lamala ka chashiv. Is it not the case, therefore, that from the lower depth to the upper depth, it is chashiv, it is considered?
Right. It's considered to be included in the intention of the Mishnah that says hayu pechusim me'asar tvachim. If the board is less than asar tvachim, it's all from milamata lamala. It's all chashiv. It's all it's all included in what the Gemora, what the Mishnah says in those words, that if it's less than 10, so then the din is going to be higher.
The hachi kamar, and this is what it's saying. Mitefach va'ad asara nisa leka. From 1 tefach until 10, there is no liability for death. Nizakin iga, but for damages, there is liability. Alma Lina Zagin Ko Dehu. Therefore, for damages, any Ko Dehu, anything, any kind of damage is included. Shema, Shema, Mina, Ein Omdim Linazakin. We learn from this that we do not assess for damages. We do not assess for damages. Meaning we don't assess the digging, the excavation.
Just right to see whether or not that bore or excavation or pit or manhole, whatever it was, we don't make a shuma. The Bezdin doesn't make any evaluation into whether that that pit was capable of causing the damage that that the animal actually suffered. We just say, well, anywhere from 1 tefach until up until and not including 10, he's going to be the digger is going to be liable for whatever damage was caused to the animal.
So in other words, we don't say for 1 tefach deep, it can cause 10 shkalim, and for 2 tefach fucking deep, it can cause 20 shkalim, or anything like that. We just say if it's between 1 and 9, then whatever the damage is, however much it is, it's one shekel or 1,000,000 shekels. We don't delve further. Is that the point?
That's the. In other words, we don't do a whole evaluation of the pit and come to a conclusion. Well, is it possible? Is it realistic, practically speaking, to say that this pit caused this damage, or is it not? We don't get into that, and therefore it could come out the way that we're interpreting the words of the Mishnah to mean. The way we're interpreting the words of the Mishnah, we're saying, oh, all it said is anything which is less than 10, so the guy's going to be high for the damage. Well, what do you mean? Maybe does that mean even if it's 1 tefach and it caused the animal to be totally incapacitated? True, it didn't die, but it caused severe damage to the animal. 1 tefach, that's possible. So we'll say, well, maybe it's not. We don't get into it. We don't go into it. So if we would have gone into it, and make an evaluation, we probably would have come out with the conclusion that it's very difficult to hear that this animal was damaged by this pit in the way that it was, and therefore would have let the guy off the hook. But we don't do that. Says that based upon this, that the Gemora is saying in the My Lav. The Gemora is saying My Lav isn't this the way to interpret the Mishnah. That all it said in the Mishnah was if it's less than 10, he's chayav. Oh, less than 10, he's chayav. That means if it's 1 tefach, 2 tefach, all the way up to 10 and not including 10, he's going to be liable. That's what it says in the Mishnah. That's the way we're learning the Mishnah at this juncture, at this step in the Gemara. And like that, we're going to come out with a proof that it must be that we don't make an evaluation when it comes to damages. Looking to see if we have any Rashi over here. We don't really have any Rashi. Well, we have a Rashi over here. We read it yesterday. We could read it again too. My love. Let's just read the My love and the Rashi after that. It's towards the it's at the bottom of the Hagos Agra. If you go in the lines, obviously in the Rashi where it is, but that's where it is in the corresponding to the notes in the inside of the Gemara.
My love.
Yeah.
My love is it not prohibited? Ha dikitani im hayu pe chosim im chozak huzak bo chayev. This dikitani that we learned
In the Mishnah.
If it is less than pechusim, what's the word after pechusim? Has?
Im.
Im. If
Yeah, that's right. If it's a samach, it has a tail on the left side underneath. But if it's just round like this, it's a mem sofit.
Okay, so if it's less, if he's damaged, he's chayiv.
Right.
So
that's what it said in the Mishnah.
So that's that Rashi just clarifying the scenario.
Yeah, when the Gemara says my love, the love over here doesn't mean that it's prohibited. It means, is it not the case? Is it not the case that da 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 da? In other words, and Rashi's telling us what the da 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 is. Is it not the case that what? Is it not the case that this, what it says in the Mishnah, that if it's less than 10, that if the animal was injured, the digger is going to be liable. And then that's the Mailav. And then Rashi's going to explain the next part of the Gemara's assertion. Mailav that mimata lamala kachashiv. Now we got to know what we're going to say in regard to that it's prusim. What does it mean when it says if it's less than 10? But the first Rashi over here just told us what's the Ma'alav referring to. Is it not the case that if it's this what it said in the Mishnah, if it's less than 10, that if the animal is injured, the digger is going to be liable? What does less than 10 mean? Now the Gemara is going to suggest that what it means when it says less than 10 means mi mata lamala. Kachashi, that's all included. So now Rashi's going to explain us what does it mean when it says mi mata lamala. What is that all about?
Okay, so Alma be tefach hayu hizak. So I guess even if it's a tefach and he's damaged.
Habe hezek. It seems to me that Rashi is saying over here that what's the translation of these words? Let's try to translate the words literally and see and work out the pshat. My lab, isn't it the case that when it says in the Mishnah that if it was less than 10, it means milamata lamala kachashib? That is kachashib. It includes everything which is from lamata lamala. What's that? I guess literally what that would mean would be anything from like the Gemora said, from 1 tefach all the way up to and not including 10. And so therefore Rashi says over here, Alma, so we see from what the Gemora is saying here, b'tefach with a tefach of depth, habi hezek, there is a possibility that it could cause this damage. It does cause a certain damage. The tefach have hezek. With one tefach, there is hezek. It is hezek. Now you could say, well, what does Rashi mean by that? Does Rashi mean to say that we're going to make an evaluation of whether that is? No, Rashi's saying that the Mishnah, the Gemora is saying that the Mishnah is asserting that even from one tefach, it's going to be regarded as a bore that does hezek.
What is it that we're not assessing?
What?
What is it that we're not assessing?
We are not making an assessment. When we say we make an assessment, we mean to say that I guess we would bring in ballistics experts and all the experts and we would ask them. We say, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's reasonable to say that let's go and look at this boar over here? Let's go and look at the boar. That's what Rabbi Akiva was saying to Shimon and Timni. What, are you going to go and tell the Chachamim to go, the rabbis got to go out and look at the boar and see, and they got to go look over here, they got to go over there, they got to go over there. They have to survey the situation in order to make a reasonable evaluation, right? They got to see it with their own eyes. So we're gonna have to go over there and take a look at this boar, and maybe we'll need to require experts on the matter. Maybe the Chachamim will consult with experts and see is it probable and reasonable that such damage could result to this animal from that weapon.
So
whereas over here, what
the board to see if it is a tefach deep. Correct?
That's not called an evaluation.
Right. So
that's not called evaluation.
That much we do, but we don't go further and evaluate whether it's the defendant is justified in coming and saying, you owe me 1,000 shekels. We just say if that's what the veterinarian charged, that's it. You got to pay 1,000 shekels. We're not evaluating. Is that right?
Because the Mishnah says yes. Because the way we're understanding the Mishnah right now, the Mishnah when it says if it's less than 10, so he's going to be liable. How could the Mishnah say that if it's less than 10, he's going to be liable? Maybe we got to do an evaluation. How do we? Maybe does the Mishnah mean to include even a board that's one tefach deep? The Mishnah didn't make any distinctions. It just said if it's less than 10, so then he's liable. That's it. That's it. That's what the Mishnah. That's the way the Gemora is saying right now. That's what the Mishnah says. Maybe in the next step, in 1 second, the Gemora is going to say, no, that's not what the Mishnah means. But right now, what the Gemora is saying, that the Mishnah is saying, my love, isn't this what the Mishnah is saying? And by the way, usually when the Gemora says my love, the Gemora answers it, no, that's not what the Mishnah means. But we're trying to understand what the my love of the Gemora is right now in this step. That's the point. So the my love is that based upon what it says in the Mishnah, we can see, says Rashi, Alma, we see that the Mishnah holds that there is no evaluation that's made by the Bezdin. And that's the answer to our question that we were asking. Do we make an evaluation? Do we not make an evaluation? The answer is we don't. That's the proof that the Gemara has on the table right now in this step.
Okay.
Okay, so the Gemara even said, Shema Amina. We hear from, do we hear from here? When the Gemara first says Shema Amina, it's not making a statement, it's saying, do we hear from here? Last call for anybody to make any objections to this proof that we're asserting over here. And we see the next word is the Gemara says lo. No, that's not a proof. We'll slug up this proof right now in the next step. Right? The Gemara says Shema Mina ein omdim l'nezikin. That's what the Gemara said. That we're saying over here. Hear up, everybody. We're saying over here. It seems like from this Mishnah we got a proof. Anybody have? Anybody? It's your last chance to object. Let's hear. The Gemara answers right now in the next step. Lo. We're gonna dismiss this proof. This proof is not a good proof. It's not 100%. What are you going to say over here? Let's see the next section of the Gemara. Alan.
Yeah. Okay, below, starting from there, left-hand side, okay. Gemara rejects the proof, low, no, that's not what the Tana means. Mala, mata, kor, or she, he's considering pits from a high depth to a low depth. The Hoshi or Omar, and this is what he was saying. Soma, if the excavation is any depth up to as little as 10 tefachim, Misor Ikor, there is liability for death. Sora Porator, but if it is a little bit less than 10 tefachim, Misor King Esau, there is liability for damages. Misor labor, but there is no liability for death. King, and in reality, I can tell you that there is a necessity to perform for damages. Base and each and every case will require a big impact strong enough for that property to have been damaged through it.
Okay, so the Gemara is saying that you don't have a proof from that Mishnah, because we're gonna explain the words of the Mishnah differently than we just got through saying. And notice the basis of the difference when the Gemara says over here, it says mimala lamata kachashi. You notice the difference between saying it like this and saying and the way we said this expression in the line above. Mimata ve'adas we said over there. We said mimata lamala kachashi. In one, there's two ways to interpret what it means when it says if it's less than 10, so then there's a din of nezikin. One way is to say that we're going mimata lamala, and the other way, what the Gemara is saying now is no, we're not going to say it like that. We're going to say it means mimala lamata, from above to below kachashi. What's the difference between saying from below to above and saying from above to below? So that's when we say mimata lamala, that's what we said in the first step of the Gemara when we had a proof. Rashi said, if we say mimata from the bottom to the top, what that means is, Rashi said, is that even a bore which would be only one tefach, that's called mimata lamala. Mata, in other words, over here doesn't mean the deepest pit that's less than 10. It's just a little bit less than 10. It means the pit which is the less, it's hardly a pit. It's only a one tefach pit. It's also called a bore. But now we're saying no. We don't interpret the words of the Mishnah like that. Interpret the words of the Mishnah when it says less than 10. It means mimala lamata. We're going from the top to the bottom. Mean the top is the ground floor. That's the level of the earth, of the ground. That's the level of the ground. We're going to go. When we say less than 10. He's going to be liable. We mean to say, mimala, if it's like the Gemora says, pakos me'asara pursa. If it's just a little bit less than 10, we say nezikin isa. That will be a case that there will be nezikin. That's very reasonable to assume that there will be nezikin if it's a little bit less than 10. And that the Mishnah means that we will say for sure he's going to be liable to pay for the damage that was caused, because even if it would be just a little bit more than that, we say it could cause death. So certainly if it's just a little bit, a porsa less than 10, certainly we would say that it will cause damage, and perhaps in that case, I don't know, we wouldn't even make a shuma. We would just say, yeah, it certainly caused the damage that it caused. But when it gets to be less than that, we make an evaluation. Make an evaluation. That's what it says. La'olam emalach sheyesh omed l'nezikin. Because really, in reality, we're going to say that we're definitely going to make an evaluation in cases of nezikin. Kol midi b'midi. Kol midi b'midi. Yeheke de mitizka be be'inan. We need to. It sounds actually like in every case we're going to make an evaluation. Even a bore which is just a little bit less than 10, we're going to make an evaluation of the damage involved. So basically, like this, the Gemora is pushing off the proof. We have no proof from the Mishnah. There's no proof from the Mishnah, because we're understanding that this, when it says less than 10 in the Mishnah, it means mimala lamata kachashi. The intention of the Mishnah is to say, to regard the depth of the bore only milamala, when it's close to the milamala. What does it mean, milamala? It's a little bit apparent from the wording, but that means there's a little bit less than 10 and going down. So the emphasis is on that bore is the bore that's going to cause damage for sure. Okay. Very good. 12:30.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
Have a good day. A Chodesh Tov to everybody.
Thank you.
Right.
Same to you.
Right.
Surus
So,
Toibos.
see you
Shus
at
v'nachamos.
4 o'clock, Lou?
4 o'clock, yeah.